Hey everyone, Victoria Waco here. You know what it is. We are entering the Netflix era of WWE. So let's talk about my thoughts on the premiere episode on Netflix that happened last night. Truth be told, this might have to be a two-parter because there was a lot going on. Just a lot. Let's talk about just some of like the production end of things first. I will be honest, like when I first saw photos of the mat, I was not thrilled about it. I did actually end up liking it, in the sense that I felt like I don't know, like after a while I just forgot about the stuff written in the ring, quite honestly. So I think I thought it was going to be a bigger deal that to me than it was, and it ended up being okay. I'm not totally in love with the new ref outfits, be honest with you. I don't know, I guess I'm more of a traditionalist and I really, really love the black and white. So maybe they'll grow on me. And also, like, don't put the camera on the ref if you're never going to show us that part of the footage on the show. Like, I kept waiting to see, like, the ref cam footage and they never used it. So, if you're going to put it on them, use the footage. That's all. I will say I was a little bummed that Lillian Garcia was not the ring announcer. Nothing against the ring announcer. She's fabulous. She's great. But I don't know. I was texting back and forth with a friend throughout the show, and we were both wrestling fans, and we were talking about like it had that kind of energy of the Attitude Era in the sense of the bigness and like the crowd was so insane. I don't know. There would have been something about getting to hear Michael Cole and Lillian Garcia in that moment that for my like brain would have made me really happy. But nothing against her. I like her a lot. It's just nostalgia I wanted. Along with that nostalgia factor, I loved hearing some of the old theme songs, like when they were playing the Underground song, which is one of my favorite themes for a Raw. That was really cool. Seeing all the celebrities too. I felt like obviously Netflix has a lot of connections with celebrities, but I feel like again it was something that made it feel like the coolest ticket in town. Right? Like that's how it felt to me. There were a couple celebrities that we probably could have dealt without. Clearly, the Hulk Hogan appearance, that crowd was like not taking it, right? Like from the turn the lights off chant. Interestingly enough, like they had said the F word, they didn't bleep it out, which is like a very, cool part of it not being on TV. But like that crowd was like letting you know their feelings on things, and they let you know how a lot of people feel about Hulk. So, like, you could have your opinion of him. It was just very, very clear that the crowd was not feeling him being there. And you could tell in his delivery that he was not happy about that. Yeah, so the other, of course, we had the opening. Hunter is amazing. He did a great job. I think it was a great way to start it off. Felt big. It felt important. It felt like all the things you want it to feel. I personally, you all know my thoughts on The Rock. If you watched any of my other videos, and yes, I am a Cody crybaby. I could have done without that whole segment. To me, and this is how I would have used The Rock. I think him coming out after the Roman match could have been more powerful had he not done that whole babyface thing that in the ring. Like the people he thanked, Triple H could have incorporated that into like it was literally like they just needed a reason for him to come out and say stuff. And I think it would have been far more powerful of him just coming out after the Roman Reigns match. And I'm so confused now what the heck he is. Like, because I feel like the him and Roman Reigns thing only works if he's a heel. Like, do not turn Roman into a heel again. We're loving cheering for him. Like, let us just have this moment of loving our tribal chief, okay? Just give us this moment. With that, the Roman Reigns solo Sakura match was great. Surprised they did it like into the crowd more. Like if you're going to do tribal rules, I would have liked a little bit more use of that as a thing. But overall, they did great. I actually thought that was going to end with The Rock coming out and taking the Uber La Fala for himself and saying he's the head of the table. That's really what I thought was going to happen. Clearly, it did not. And I thought that because it got Paul Heyman out of having to go with Solo Sikoa. But with that, we get Paul, we get Roman. I'm curious to see how the favor with CM Punk will play into this. But, and God, just love Paul Heyman. I mean, chef's kiss everything he does. I love the run-ins. I love the use of Kevin Owens and Cody in this match. And I love the use of Jimmy because we knew we were going to see Jay later and Sammy. So I just think overall it was a well put together match. And I hopefully did what I had to do. Like, now I'm wondering, like, what's next for all of this. And that was the one thing I kind of had a question mark afterwards. I did like the stage setup too. I love the use of the drawing throughout. I will say that was really cool too. But yeah, I feel like it did what I had to do. I mean, you knew that he was going on first because Roman doesn't like to be at the show late. But I'm curious to see what the next chapter in the Bloodline storyline is, because there's going to be another one. We know there is. And I feel like somehow The Rock's going to be involved, so we'll see what happens, I did love the Mama Rhodes shout out, though, because we all know I love me some Mama Rhodes. I got to meet her at WrestleMania, and it was really, really special to get to meet her. The next match I want to talk about, let's talk about the Jay match. We had all babyface winners last night, which is kind of odd to me. I really liked that match. I thought Drew was going to win for sure. I think it was, of all the matches, though, like the dip down, right? Because you had that opening, and then you had, Rhea Ripley. I need, like, forever to talk about that. And then you had, like CM Punk at the end and Seth Rollins. So I feel like that was, like, the lull, and I don't think it was their fault. I think whoever was going to be placed in that spot on that card, it was going to be the low point of the show. That's just my opinion. The Rhea Ripley match, I liked it. I felt like it could have been, I think it's hard to believe Liv was hurting Rhea as much as Rhea was doing such a good job at selling that. That's my opinion. I loved the interference. I loved everything. Mommy has her belt back. I'm excited about that. I am Mommy. Mommy is now my Netflix photo, by the way. So excited about that I can use her as my icon. So overall, I love the post-match of this match, though. I think that the story really was the post-match. Her, like, hitting Dominic. I also did love them showing X-Pac right before this, because I think you did get lots of, like, the nut shot especially was something Chyna used to do a lot, and I just, it was nice having that little moment. And I did like seeing Chyna in part of the clips that they showed at the beginning, because she's important. She's extremely important. I could go on and on about her importance to wrestling. And I miss her because she was important to me at that era of my life too, as a female watching wrestling. But I love that, the gong. Y'all, this is why I say, in my brain, Undertaker and Mark Calloway are kind of two different people, and I need to do that because the Undertaker as a character was so important, again, to my development as a wrestling fan. Every time I hear that gong, it is just special. I feel like the timing was a little off with the motorcycle. Sometimes I just wish they would give up on the motorcycle, because it adds this level of complexity I don't think is needed sometimes with an Undertaker appearance. But there was something, I mean, like, them looking at each other, I just loved it. I loved that kind of, like, recognition of her, and, like, people don't like this about her, but she is the next generation. She's this, era biggest female star, one of the biggest stars, not even female or male. And to have that rub from The Undertaker, I thought was very, very special. Okay, I'm going to break this into two videos. The next one, I'm going to talk about the John Cena. You knew I had to talk about that. And also the main event. But yes, I did love the gong. I wish we would have gotten the gong at the end too, because that just, oh, I love it. I just love it. You know that feeling. And I loved her facial expressions during all that. So, all right, on to part two. Let's go.